Did you know some companies are betting 80% of their climate goals on tree planting, even though forests can't permanently lock away CO2? If you're working on holding companies accountable for their climate action plans, you've likely heard all sorts of claims. But does the data back them up? Today we got a first glimpse into this year's Corporate Climate Responsibility Monitor. So let's unpack the latest analysis of the food and agriculture giants and see which of their climate strategies really mean progress. Starting with setting the targets, what stood out right away is that even where companies set short-term emission reduction targets, these often hide the lack of action on key transitions. And in these targets as well, there's an undefined role for land-based carbon removals. Think of tree planting or storing carbon in soils. Like Nestlé, the food giant is indicating that up to 80% of its climate target could be met using land-based removals. Again, a huge and problematic share considering that even if there are no forest fires or fields replowed, carbon stored in land sinks simply doesn't stay there long enough. That makes it not much of a plan but more like a loophole. And some companies like Danone and Mars are clearer on this front. They openly state that they're awaiting guidance on removals. But there still is an issue here. Merging emission reductions and land-based removals undermines accountability and credibility. We need separate targets. And with that in mind, we need voluntary initiatives like the SBTi and GHG protocol to become or stay very clear on this matter. But let's look at the companies' actions. How are these companies actually planning to tackle the decarbonization of their sectors? Here's what we found. There's some movement on shifting to plant-based proteins, but still no strong commitments from the major players. Secondly, deforestation targets are relatively well established, but looks deceived because often the deforestation-free commodity claims are based on book and claim certificate. Third, fertilizer use. A major emission source is barely mentioned. Fourth, food loss and waste gets some attention, but no meaningful measures have been taken yet. And fifth, while companies are starting to talk about logistics, packaging, and methane, a gas 80 times more potent than CO2, progress is patchy. They really need to scale up action here. So, the big takeaway, there is progress, yes, but companies must split targets, emission reductions and removals. They need to go beyond what's allowed under the SBTi's flag guidance, and they have to have a clear approach to land-based removals. And also, they need to fully commit to the core transitions that deliver real and lasting emission reductions in the agri-food sector. You can find the full analysis of this sector on our website, but this is just one piece of the puzzle. The full Corporate Climate Responsibility Monitor with insights from 20 major companies in tech, fashion, and automotive sector are also coming soon. So stay tuned.